That's the polar bear. Hey, Sean.
Hey, I lost connection
Yeah,
before.
we
so
just did.
okay.
Okay, we got you
back
again.
up again this year.
These microphones are working now.
Yep. Maybe they were here. I don't know. Oh, I hear a microphone. Oh, that's my voice.
No, that was mine.
Yeah.
Testing 1, 2, test. Check, check, 1, 2, check.
Like that I'm green.
More cowbell.
I'm green on the screen.
I think we're sickly.
Feel good? Another second just to make sure. Yep, good, okay. Called over to the City Council meeting for Monday, September 15th, 2025. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Roll call, please.
Mark Bittner,
Here.
Shannon Derby, Bill Leclerc,
Here.
Doug Brandt,
Here.
Tim Petrie,
Here.
Bonnie Shimalunas, here, Scott Steckmesser,
Here.
Adam Mahusky,
Here.
Darla Leclerc, all present.
Excellent. We can skip over number 4 because we're all here. We do have Sean, the attorney, joining us from phone tonight. Number 5, introduction of invited guests. I'm assuming we have none.
I don't believe we have any.
Okay. On to public hearing. Under A, we have a public hearing to amend a previously approved planned unit development plan for St. Mark's Square located at 1110 Victory Street, submitted by Kurt Gessel, applicant and owner.
We do have some residents in attendance tonight. This is a local general contractor who proposes to amend the existing PUD to redevelop the Covenant Building at St. Mark's Church at 1110 Victory Street. This is Mr. Kurt Gazelle. He seeks PUD approval to convert the existing empty building into a 4-unit apartment complex while preserving the existing exterior the way it looks. Once that building is fully leased, and that will be his winter project. So he hopes to have that one filled by next spring. Then he will move on to building on the empty corner lot there for an additional 4-unit housing complex. So the proposed project timeline is 3 years for the completion of both buildings. Public hearing notices were sent out to 50 addresses located within 200 feet of this development. And the public hearing notice was published in the paper on August 31 and September 8th. And with that, we can open the public hearing if anybody has anything they'd like to add.
Okay. So we'll open up the public hearing. There'll be 3 calls. If you wish to speak about this public hearing, please step up to the podium on your left and state your name and address for the record. I will now open up the first call for this public hearing. Seeing no one, I'll close the first call and open up the second call. Seeing no one, I'll close the second call and open up the third and final call. Okay. I'll close the third call and bring it back to council, looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to, where are we?
6A.
Thank you. Sorry, everybody. Okay. I make a motion to approve the amended planned unit development plan as recommended by the Plan Commission.
Darla, do we have a second? Thank you, Bill. Any council discussion? Yes, Bonnie.
Is this market rate housing? Is that what it is? Are you the people?
Yes, it would be market rate housing.
You're right.
What?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
okay.
Any other questions? Mark?
I have a question, and it's not specifically about this. I think this is a great plan. I think it's a great project, and I support it. But have we heard anything about the school? One of their citizens asked me about the school in front of the sanctuary. Is there any plans in that? I know it's not the topic at hand, but I think we ought to, as a city council, we ought to try to find more out about the school in the future.
Yeah, I think that's owned by someone separate.
It is. That's a separate owner of the school, and they've got some ideas of what they want to do with that.
I knew that, but I'm suggesting we have them maybe come to council and talk about it, because people in the community are worried about it's in dilapidated shape. So that's just a suggestion.
Thank you, Mark. Anyone else? Seeing no other questions, we'll do a roll call vote. Amanda?
Shannon Derby,
Aye.
Bill Leclerc,
Aye.
Doug Brandt,
Aye.
Tim Petrie, Bonnie Shimalunas,
Aye.
Scott Steckmeister,
Aye.
Adam Mahusky,
Aye.
Darla Leclerc, Mark Bittner, all in favor.
Excellent. Thank you all for that. On to number 7, input from the public. If you wish to address the council, please step up to the podium on your left and state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one for input from the public, we'll go on to number 8, council communications, letters and other communications from citizens. Anyone have anything? Yes, Mark.
Mr. President, I received numerous comments, more than I can really count, but from citizens who were responding to that opinion poll by chance.org that was put out by, I think, a local citizen regarding the Shorter Beach project. And overwhelmingly, the majority of the responses were, don't spend that much money on that project. And it ranged from, I don't like the building look, we don't need all these other complaints, but overwhelming, it was opposed to our expenditure of the money. And I compliment whoever put it out, because that's what we're looking for, is feedback on projects like this from the community. So thank
you. Anyone else? Yes, Doug.
Yeah, I got a call from a Airbnb owner in town. Not happy with their latest ordinance amendment, and mainly the signage restriction and the lighting rule there, that they had to turn all their lights off at 11 and regular citizen does not. So she thinks it's very discriminatory, and she plans on reporting to the Wisconsin Realtors Association lawsuit. That was a nice call.
Okay.
I had a couple, a commercial building inspection issue with our commercial building inspector, and I believe Kyle is going to be meeting with that individual as well, the person that had that complaint. Also received one, and I think we all did, on other ways that we can reach out to people with the Cool City Connect. That was nice timing. With the Cool City Connect letter for people that don't have internet. And my response to them was maybe we could find a way to get some copies down to like the senior center, the library, and even here at City Hall, so that people that don't have internet can still get that letter by going to one of those 3 places and being able to read it. And also, I did receive the complaints on the concession stand as well, with people that didn't like it, didn't like the look, didn't like the cost. So I did receive quite a few of those as well.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Okay, I don't usually report about this kind of stuff, but apparently I'm the only one that got this letter. I'm looking to destroy Port Sandy Bay, the new pizza place by Pick and Save, Sepia Chapel, and probably Rita's Supper Club. Now, I didn't know I had this kind of power, but apparently I do. And I know I'm sounding kind of snotty, but sometimes this is real tiresome. And I don't think some of this stuff is true. Was that concession stand, the new one, supposed to seat 100 people? Is that true? I don't remember. Do you, what? 70. Oh, 70. Well, I guess that's close. And they think that the U.S. Bank building, Mahoots, and Koenig Chevrolet and M&M are all owned by the same people, but I'm pretty sure they're not. And not only that, the city doesn't have a say in who buys those buildings and things like that. And it's time to stop this madness. You didn't want an outdoor swimming pool, but now you want a Taj Mahal. I guess if you have more than 4 bathrooms in a building, it's like a Taj Mahal. It would be in my house, that's for sure. And then just so you know, I decided I'm going to keep my hate mail, and someday I'm going to wallpaper one of the rooms of my house. There you go.
There you go, Bonnie. Yes, Mark.
I received it too, and the content was so ridiculous, I didn't want to afford it. So,
Gotcha.
You did receive
yes, I received it.
receive it by chance? Because
Yeah, I received it too.
you did.
Oh,
Yeah,
three.
the rest of us didn't.
Received
They
it.
sent an anonymous, just a,
Well,
And
well,
then
how
talking
come?
with everyone else, the rest of us didn't receive it.
it was a letter.
Well,
like
they
that.
never sign it, but
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You
it came to my
said,
home
like,
address.
You want India to take over everything in the rivers or something.
Aw.
Something like that. They were,
game.
Right.
it was-
I did not get one.
Yeah, I didn't get one either. I don't think Adam got one either.
We're not powerful.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
powerful like you, Bonnie.
Yeah, it's all Bonnie. Anyone else? Not for just that letter, but anything else in general.
I would just say, so it is true that private property rights are alive and well here in the city of Two Rivers. And the city does not control who manages those properties or who buys or sell all those individual private properties that you just mentioned. It is also true that we've been very grateful and encouraged by all the engagement from the residents over the past couple of weeks, because we did want to increase engagement and get people involved into decisions before they were made more, instead of hearing about it at the end. So we were trying to get people more involved at the front end of decisions, and I think we've accomplished that over the past week or two.
Yes, Mark.
I just had one more thing I want to say. I probably heard at least a dozen comments about this on Saturday night. But first of all, the Paddlepalooza put on by our Park and Recreational Department was an outstanding event. And lots of people in the community. It had kayaking, canoeing, and you could use it. And they had a morning float, and I participated with my wife Betty in the evening sunset float, and it was beautiful. And there were many people out there enjoying the facilities, and everyone afterwards thanked the Park and Recreation Department. So Mike and your team, thank you very much. That was a great job.
Awesome. Anyone else?
Before you move on, was it Bonnie who stated that you received a potential that someone's referring a threat of litigation to the Realtors Association?
That was Doug that got a phone call from someone.
Oh, got one. Okay. It was just a phone call. There wasn't any formal correspondence or anything, was there?
No, but
Okay,
she said
if there's something written, I'd like to review it, but if not, that's fine.
okay, no, it was just a phone call.
Sounds good.
Anyone else? Anything else? We'll go on to number 9. Council reports from boards, commissions, and committees.
I do. So on Main Street, well, they're looking for board members, number one. And the annual meeting is November 4th. Starts at 4 PM, and then at 5 PM is a short program that will take place at the Violet Inn. It would be a nice opportunity for you to see that. Ethnic Fest is September 20th, Wine Walk the 24th, and Trick or Treat the 25th. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
I had the library board,
Yes.
and they had a really great turnout for their foam and the brat fry for the Art Splash. And then, And then just all the programs that are happening at the Western Public Library all the time. Yep.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Anyone else?
Just at Hamilton's Days Goose. But
Anyone else? Okay, then on to number 10, consent agenda. Under A, we have presentation of minutes from the city council regular meeting for September 2nd, 2025. The recommended action is a motion to waive reading and adopt the minutes. Under B, we have minutes of meetings. We have personnel and finance committee from August 1st, 2025, library board from August 12th, 2025, Explore Two Rivers Board of Directors from August 12th and September 9th, 2025, and the Zoning Board of Appeals for September 4th, 2025. The recommended action will be a motion to receive and file. Under C, we have the safety report. Recommended action is motion to receive and file. D, we have summary of verified bills for August 2025 of $3,324,991.37. The recommended action will be a motion to receive and file. And under E, we have applications and petitions. We have one of those. It's a temporary Class B license for Two Rivers Historical Society for presentation of the Sister City Bronze Medallion to the City of Two Rivers event on September 16th, 2025, from 5 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. at 1622 Jefferson Street. The recommended action will be a motion to approve the application and authorize issuance of the license. The recommended action for the consent agenda as a whole is a motion to approve the consent agenda with the various actions recommended. Looking for a motion. Thank you, Bonnie. Second by, thank you. Any council discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, number E, post parking restriction, 15-minute, where was that again located? And approve the existing no parking restriction between two driveways.
That's under formal items.
Okay, I'm sorry, I jumped
Yep.
ahead of my agenda. I didn't look at the back.
Gotcha. Yep. Oh, gotcha. Yep. Anyone else? See none, we'll do a voice vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Thank you all for that. On to 11, City Council formal items. Under A, we have appointment of Jennifer Watry to a 3-year term on the Advisory Rec Board expiring May 1st, 2028.
We have a need for new resident volunteers to step up and get involved in a number of committees and commissions, and this is one of them. If anybody's listening or in the audience and they want to step up for perhaps a park and rec board or any other board, feel free to reach out to City Hall. But this is for Jennifer Watry to be on the Advisory Recreation Board. We do struggle to get a quorum on that board occasionally, so this would really help in that regard. She has lived in town a number of years. She's a dedicated and experienced professional. She puts on here she's a mother of 3 with a deep personal and professional connection to Parks and Rec. And I think she would be a reliable addition to this board.
I think we also have on our website an application form, right? Yes, if you're looking to get on those boards and want to do it from home 24/7, feel free.
Up on Advisory Rec Board, Mike, or?
There was a resignation who would make this happen.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But otherwise, we're filled in, right? With this one? Okay, thank you.
There's some pretty.
Gotcha. So if anyone, like Kyle said, if anyone wants to join, please let City.
At least get like, make us aware that
Sure.
there's not a position.
Gotcha. Okay, sounds good. So we're looking for a motion to approve the appointment. Thank you, Bonnie, and Mark
I'll
second.
second the motion. Mr. President.
Any council discussion? See none, we'll do a voice vote again. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carried. On to B, land lease agreement between the City of Two Rivers and Randy Meyer, Town of Two Rivers.
This is a renewal lease agreement with Randy Meyer for approximately 86 acres of city-owned land. You should all have a map in front of you. I believe there's one in your packet too, if I did not give you one. This is we're tightening the screw a little bit. We're increasing it to $80 per acre. So over 86 acres of land, that's annual rent of $6,880 paid in 3 equal installments. This is nothing new. This is just a renewal. The lease would be set to commence in September of this year and conclude in December of next year at the end of 2026. This would be for general farming and agricultural purposes. And then the leasee would be required to provide liability insurance, and we are increasing the amounts from the old lease to higher amounts that will protect the city better. $250,000 per person, $500,000 per occurrence, and $100,000 for property damage. And it's pretty straightforward. Are there any questions on this?
Put on there that property tax.
Property taxes would have to be paid by the landowner. You could do a triple net lease and have it included in, but the property owner would have to pay for the taxes, and that would be us.
Possible he would.
It says the leaseor, so they are responsible.
That would be all inclusive of that. Is that part of the 6,000?
Yes, it is part of the $6,880.
That'd be part of that lease as, yep.
Other questions? Otherwise, promotion.
I'll make a motion to, God, I'm doing really good with this, aren't I? Motion to approve and authorize city manager and city clerk to sign the agreement on behalf of the city of Two Rivers.
Thank you.
I'll
And
second.
Adam will second. Any council discussion? Seeing none, we'll do a voice vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Thank you all for that.
Oh, I got a quick question. How often do we do this? How often does it have to go through this?
This is through the end of next year.
So it is annual?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think previously it was not annually.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do a 1-year kind of a stump agreement for now, and we can revisit it more next year, see what we want to do with it.
Okay, on to C, resolution authorizing the submission of an application for a 2026 Wisconsin DNR Urban Forestry Grant.
Director Mathis, if you could come up and say a few words on this one, please. Grant Maestro.
Grant expert.
Grant guru.
Grand.
Let's not get our hopes up on this one. So
Aw.
this grant is a $25,000 grant from Wisconsin DNR for urban forestry. We use our current budget for urban forestry and street planting trees to do the match for this. So we already have the budgeted dollars. This will be the 4th year in a row. If we get it, it'll be the 4th year in a row we get it. I'm told that getting it that 3rd and 4th year is quite difficult. So it's worth a shot to go see if we can get it. We've got some creative ideas and getting our guys experience and maybe some equipment to be able to use an aerial lift to give us a lot more capacity and skills. So maybe that'll be a solid argument, but this resolution just lets me submit the application and we'll see what happens if we can get a hold of some more money for forestry.
Questions?
Good find.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, buddy.
So what are you going to use the money for? Because in the thing, it also said we have to match it. Is that correct?
That's correct. And so our match is the existing budget that we have for forestry and the tree planting fund. So we have to match 50-50. So we have to match $25,000. And even my time as administrative time could be used as in-kind match. So we're not putting any new money up to do that match. It's all budgeted, typically annual dollars that we would have for forestry as the match. And what we would use the money for is removing dead trees for the most
Sorry,
part.
it's what? To
Removing
remove-
dead trees.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah.
wanted to know. Okay.
Yeah. And probably some training if we can, and when we get into budget season, we'll talk about aerial lifts and if we want to borrow money for a new aerial lift, or there's this chance that there's a aerial lift sitting out kind of impounded by the police department right now. We'll see if we need some training and some other things to be able to, that'll help us get high up on trees. Right now, Parks and Rec does not do anything off the ground for trees. And so that really limits what we can do on street trees and within the cemetery as well. So if we can get a little bit more funding to help us do removals and the training to make that lift happen, that'd be a good step in the right direction.
Any other questions for Mike?
Electrical department.
So electric department does help us out occasionally with street trees when they're under power lines. They have kind of limited capacity. They've got a lot of other things that they're doing. During the winter, they systematically pick sections of the city to go prune. And if I tell them I want certain trees removed that are under power lines, they'll do the best they can to get those out. 2 years ago, we probably remove 20 to 30 in partnership with electric department, where they would top the tree. We would move the stump and the trunk. This year they were just very, very busy and I think short staffed. So we didn't quite get as many of those out. Parks and Rec actually has an employee on staff right now who used to literally own his own tree removal company. And so he kind of has the skills, but we just don't have the equipment to do it. So.
Any other questions? Not, we're looking for motion then.
I will make a motion to waive reading and adopt the resolution for the submission of the application for the 2026 Wisconsin DNR Urban Forestry Grant.
Thank you. And second by Doug. I saw Doug's hand up first. Any council discussion? See none, we'll do a roll call vote. Amanda?
Bonnie Shimelunas,
Aye.
Scott Steckmeister,
Aye.
Adam Mahusky, Darla Leclerc,
Aye.
Mark Bittner, Shannon Derby,
Aye.
Bill Leclerc,
Aye.
Doug Brandt,
Aye.
Tim Petrie,
Aye.
all in favor.
On to D, resolution amending 2025 budgets for urban forestry and community development to provide additional funding for tree removals.
We were just talking about tree removals for 2026. Now we can rewind back to the current year. This is a 2025 budget amendment to transfer funds from the Community Development Fund to the Urban Forestry Fund. The city really has a need to accelerate the removal of a lot of dead trees that are in the parks, the right-of-ways, and there's a lot in cemeteries as well. We think addressing this backlog is a matter of community safety and stewardship of our public resources. So to pay for this, we are recommending transferring $40,000 from the Community Development Fund to Urban Forestry. This is a one-time transfer that does not compromise our overall financial position, and it does not eliminate future funding for the Community Development Director position. We have these resources available because the Community Development Director position has been vacant for about 1.5 years. And so we have that funding from 2025. We were going to take 40,000 of it, which is not all of it, but a good chunk of it, and throw it towards taking down dead trees.
The only thing I would add is 2 years ago, we did a tree inventory of all public terrace trees and trees in parks that are mowed around. So if they're in a wooded area, we wouldn't have inventoried them. At that time, we had almost 375 dead and dying trees that needed to be removed from terraces and in parks. The forester who did that plan also provided year-by-year estimates of how much it would cost to do all of those removals. And she was estimating that to be in hundreds of $1,000s per year to make kind of systematically work through all those dead trees within a 5-year span. We've done a pretty good job with the Parks and Rec crew, knocking out a lot of trees in parks. A little bit of help from electric department has been good. We've used contractors. But we are still have a tremendous amount of work to do. We probably have 275 trees that need attention immediately. Most of them are dead ash trees because of emerald ash borer. So yeah, a little bit of influx of cash there would definitely be helpful. This we would go out to RFP as well. We have a contractor that we've been working with, gives us very good rates. It's been good customer service, gets the work done in a timely manner. But something of this scale, we're going to provide a list of probably at least 60 trees that are in terraces that are dead or about to be dead, and see what the market gives us in terms of a best offer and how effectively we can remove that many trees in terms of cost. So, and I have found that tree removal companies really want that type of work, and so I'm hopeful that we'll get a good deal when we go to RFP for estimates.
Questions? If not, we're looking for. Okay, have a second. Thank you, Bill. Any council discussion? Yes, Adam.
I am not in favor of this. I don't think we should be attacking the Community Development Director Fund any more than what we already have. It was unfortunate we had to do it earlier, just a couple weeks ago, when we had to find money to help the inspections department. And the Community Development Fund is not, from my understanding, a lot of it comes from the incubators we have out on Winnaker Court. And those need improvements and stuff as time goes on too. And I feel that that's gonna end up being borrowed money in the future because we're kind of depleting this when we don't have to be. And I know a community development director would really be taking this money up right now, but seeing we don't have one, I think we should save it and keep it in the community development fund.
Anyone else? Yes, Mark.
I think this is a brilliant move to utilize money that's not necessary to use, doesn't cost the taxpayers any incremental dollars or taxes. And what we're doing is we're taking the 40,000, which was slotted into that for community development. Unfortunately, we don't have one. We will get one soon, I hope. But $40,000 could save lives here. We're talking about trees that might knock out power in neighborhoods, fall on school buses, people on the sidewalk, fall on cars, even a house if it's tall enough. This is a really great way to use money that was budgeted, not necessarily spended, not cost taxpayers any money, but make our community a safer place to live. So I support it.
Anyone else? Bonnie?
I just want to get this straight. This is, you're saying it's from community development because that's the fund that would pay for the community. I mean, to replace Elizabeth's position, correct? I actually have kind of a little bit of trouble with it too. I just sometimes I hate taking all that extra money and of which we have very little. And I don't know, how many trees would this be? Man,
I'm hoping for at least 60.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm hoping for at least 60 trees to be removed with the funds.
And this kind of aggressive level of funding for tree removal, if we want to get ahead of the curve, we need to throw this kind of money at this problem for like 4 years in a row. I'm not saying we can do that, but we have it for 2025. I don't know if we're going to have it for 26, 27, or 28. But we just thought this might be an opportunity to do a skip and a jump and get ahead of the problem a little bit because we do have hundreds that will start falling.
Any other questions? Okay. Then we will do a roll call vote. Amanda?
Scott Steckmesser,
Aye.
Adam Husky,
No.
Darrell Leclerc,
I have a question.
Probably. Yeah.
We take money away from community development. In the future, when we need it, where are we going to pull that money from to make up for that loss?
We are making sure we have enough salary remaining in there for this position for, let's say, the fourth quarter of this year, as well as all of next year.
Is anything that is drawn out?
No.
Mark Bittner,
Aye.
Shannon Derby,
Aye.
Bill Leclerc,
Aye.
Doug Brandt,
Aye.
Tim Petrie, Bonnie Shimalunas,
No.
motion carries.
That's a budget amendment. Isn't it? That's 2/3 majority.
6.
Oh, that's 6? Okay.
We're good. On to E, consider proposed parking restriction, create a 15-minute loading zone between the two driveways servicing 1900 School Street, K&L Enterprises.
This is a good example of City Hall listening and responding to the needs of the business community. This is a request from K&L. They reached out to have the yellow painted curb in front of their building at 1900 School Street, to have the yellow paint removed and replaced with a loading zone, temporary 15-minute loading zone to help their customers who are often in large RVs or campers or they have trailers. Pretty soon a picture will be coming up and you'll be able to get a visual of what we're talking about. So presently the curb between the two existing driveways is faded yellow paint. This indicates that there is a no parking restriction there. So this was talked about at Public Works Committee on September 3rd, and the committee was in favor of this request from this business, and It would be eliminating the no parking zone and replacing it with a loading zone, which would help with a lot of the traffic problems that are stacking on both sides of the street. There's a fully occupied apartment building across the street from here, and it would help their customers get in and get out.
Any questions for Kyle or for Matt? Otherwise, we're looking for a motion. Doug,
I'll make a motion to, I'll make a motion to remove the existing no parking restriction located between the two driveways, servicing 1900 School Street. So with a 50.
thank you. Thank you, Tim. Any council discussion? What do you mean?
That's a windrow.
The same way, there'll be
Right.
signs.
Yeah.
There'll be two signs, right, Matt, or one?
15-minute?
Two signs.
Yeah, and it's
Same
only 15
regulations.
minutes. It's basically for when we talked about public works, it's basically for the customers to come up, run in,
Yeah, but
whatever. and then-
I know the road. My business is there too. I just, in the winter, you're lucky to get a compact car down that. But
Okay,
if they have it cleaned up early enough, it shouldn't affect business then.
Okay.
Or
gotcha. Okay. Anything else? Any other discussion?
It's 38 feet, so it's not just one parking spot.
Yeah, it's from the,
Fucking camper and stuff.
anything else? You're looking for a voice vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you.
I never want to
Motion carried.
assume what council will do, but I did tell this guy, I'm fairly confident they're gonna move in the affirmative. And he was very grateful ahead of time and just thanked the city for reacting.
On to F, ordinance to amend section 5-2-5 of the municipal code, amount of sewer service charges.
As a reminder, this agenda item addresses the financial shortfall in the sewer utility, which is short $283,000 over the next 2 years. And the sewer utility is separate from the general fund. It's not supported by property taxes. Sewer rates have only seen modest increases over the past 10 years. And with today's inflation, utility revenues have not kept pace with the actual costs of operation and maintenance. So we have a proposed new billing method which will share and spread the costs more equitably than previous rate structures, spreading the costs more fairly over residential, commercial, and industrial. And key, for most families in Two Rivers, the monthly bill would increase $3 to $5 a month, starting in 2026. This is a change that is financially prudent, common sense, and will protect access to state of Wisconsin low-interest funding. Matt, what else do you have?
Most part, I think you nailed the simplistic version of it. As we've talked previously, we are looking at changing our methodology slightly, eliminating majority of that additional user charge, which is primarily focused at the multifamily dwellings, and shifting some of the costs onto the high-strength waste users or dischargers. So your commercial, industrial, restaurant type entities that will have a larger impact due to flow, due to strengths down at the wastewater plant. So with that, we're also looking at doing some slight adjustments to the volume charge and the fixed charge. And ultimately, as the city manager had stated, is that so we can maintain 110% debt recovery services out of our payments to continue utilizing the DNR clean water funds.
Director, what happens if we don't maintain that 110% ratio?
Then we either have to pay for it all out of cash, which would significantly increase rates, or we go out for general obligation borrowing, usually at a higher interest rate, so costing us even more money.
Mail.
In order to utilize these funds, it is point blank stated, you need to have 110% of your debt payment available in your revenue source. If you do not, they won't allow you to close on these loans. For 2025, we're at 108%, and by taking on additional debt for next year, we'll be down around 104%.
Coming from Illinois to Wisconsin, I'm hearing and I'm seeing for myself now more and more, Wisconsin's a better managed state than Illinois in a lot of ways, right? This is one example of that.
Any other questions? Mark?
In researching this and talking to you numerous times about this, it seems that perhaps many communities are already implementing this sewer larger fee for the manufacturers because requirements are continually ratcheting up that we maintain certain standards, and it's costing us. I think it's a good strategy that you plan protecting the households as much as you can, taxing the out of the competitive disadvantage because they're already doing that. Is that right?
We're using a multifaceted approach. A lot of what has already been, already exists in our ordinance today. The significant change in the methodology is creating this equivalent meter size. So the larger your water meter, similar to the potable drinking water side, the larger your water meter, the more unit meter charges you'll get charged. So a standard residential customer will get charged 1 meter, where somebody who has a larger meter will see anywhere from 2.5 upwards to 50 units for a 6-inch water meter.
Please.
Have any customers with?
It would be 1 6-inch water meter, which would be Aurora Hospital. And because they have that 6-inch water meter, they'll get charged 60 equivalent meters.
$987.
Somewhere around there, yes.
Go ahead, Mark.
I also like to point out to the community at large, I researched all the costs. You guys are doing a great job managing your costs. You're not spending frivolously. You're very prudent in your budget, managing your costs to address these higher standards that you have to fulfill the state requires us to do.
We're always trying to do as much as we can with as little dollars as we can. So, and obviously we want to maintain our infrastructure in the best available and safest means possible. There's always more that we have to do to continue improving our infrastructure.
Anyone else? Any other questions? Then we are looking for a motion.
Do I say the, for the sewer service charges to be amended?
Okay.
Right?
Yes. Motion to waive reading and adopt the ordinance?
Yes, that,
Is that too? Okay.
Second, the motion to waive reading and adopt the ordinance as recommended by the Public Works Committee.
It wasn't the Public Works Committee, it was the Public Utilities, or the Utilities Committee. Yeah, I know it, that's incorrect.
Public, let me
The
stand.
Utilities Committee.
I'll make second the motion to support made by the utilities, public utilities, for all the logical reasons they presented.
Thank you. Council discussion. Yes, Adam.
I am not for this. I don't really feel now is a good time to raise anything on our residents. I am definitely 100% against the increase to businesses, some of which are going to increase more than $900 a month. And that's a tough pill to swallow. I mean, that can cost them 11 grand a year. That's no small number. And it's going to cost other people as well. There's other people out there that have 4-inch meters, 3-inch meters, 2-inch meters, and it's not going to cost them quite $900+, but it's still going to have a big impact on their business and what they provide to our community. It just seems we increase these, and then not just the sewer, just in general, we increase these. It seems like every year we're increasing something, and it'd be nice if you're going to increase one, take one that's healthy and drop it back down. There's a lot of frustration out there, is what I can say. A lot of people that are not very happy.
Yes, Tim.
Last time. Good reason. All the properties. I don't understand. Person who has a hospital.
Well, the
Set
hospital
up
uses
later.
more water.
Well, no, but for the.
For the meter.
Yeah.
And people have to realize and remember that, you know, the cost for chemicals goes up, then the cost for equipment goes up. I mean, there's valid reasons behind it, that and equity to everybody. If you know, what comes in must go out. So you have to judge it by that. And if the playing field is more level, then I think that the residents should be happy about that. Nobody wants to pay more, but there's good reason behind it. And so that's what we're addressing.
But I have a question then. Don't you already pay for the more that comes in when it goes out? So you pay what goes out based on what you take in on your utility bill, though. So the water you use on your utility bill, you get charged roughly the same because we exclude summer for going back out. So we already do that equitably.
Or a residential customer.
We don't do that for Aurora? What comes in, what goes out?
No. Aurora gets paid, all commercial gets paid for on a monthly basis for water in, water out.
Right, so we're already paying it equitably. So what they're taking in and discharging, they're getting charged for already.
But right now, as Tim had said, a duplex or on the fixed meter charge, and this is what we're talking about, it's the fixed meter, is a entity that has a larger meter pays less than a multifamily, duplex, a fourplex, whatever. And so a lot of that burden right now is being put on the multifamily. So the duplex up to the large apartment buildings through the additional user charge. So we, for the most part, are getting rid of that additional user charge, except there's a few entities out there or establishments out there that still have a 3/4 inch and 5/8 inch meter that are multifamily. So they will still have an additional user charge because they, in theory, only have one meter for those smaller meters. But the burden on the amount of water being discharged is being treated the same across the board, except for the residential who do get that summer averaging off the winter quarter. There was discussion related to looking at modifying that in the future. But at this point in time, the committee said, not at this time, but something to consider in the future.
Right, that's what I was asking though, was exactly
Yeah.
that. So what you take in for water, you pay that same amount that goes out. Okay, because before it was said that you're trying to put it more equitable, that because you use more, you're not paying as much to go back out.
The burden of waste, the higher users have a lot of potential to discharge higher strength waste, and the quantity of volume is also. So one particular industry is constantly putting us in a negative failing grade for our BOD. So that entity will be paying more of what we're looking at trying to recuperate.
Weren't we gonna put that in like a different class?
That's part of the ordinance revision as well.
Right, so that particular industry though would go in a separate class,
Yes.
not the rest of these industries. And the rest of these industries are what I feel for.
But the rest of these industries will be looked at to see what their waste loadings will be and whether or not they will be switched from a category A to a category B customer as well.
Which is a way to avoid drastically increasing on residents what the rate would be.
Correct.
We talk about valid reasons. Perhaps the most valid reason is the state of Wisconsin is making us do it. I don't know how you get around that.
It's gonna cost, how much is that gonna cost if we lose the loans? How much?
It would be astronomical.
Right
Shifting
now-
from low interest funding to general obligation debt would be, finance director, a lot more. It would be very ugly.
$1 million, $2 million? Is it in the millions, thousands, or?
It's not a door you want to look behind.
Anything else?
I would just add, it's very expensive running utilities. Two Rivers is in the utility business with 4 active utilities. I know a lot of towns, cities that backed away from this over the years, and they took a long-term approach, and then they decided to get out of the utility business because it is expensive to run your own sewer utility and waste and water utility as well. We don't have to forever, and there are other options out there. But as long as we are responsible for running our own utilities, it is expensive to run and maintain them, and the costs do keep going up every year.
Anyone else?
I'd like to reiterate that we did really try to spare the residents, and we did keep the 1-inch pipe for the residential areas, with the rest of the 5/8 and 3/4 inch pipes. So they wouldn't be charged for the 1-inch. Right?
Out of curiosity, how come nobody ever thought to do this before? Is it just an oversight thing or what?
In my past employment, in a couple different municipalities that I've worked for or worked with, this is a very common methodology that I've been accustomed to. I was actually in a little shock that we did not have this approach when I came here. But it is a very common practice, especially for municipalities of the size of Two Rivers. Generally, it's about 15,000 and under in population. This is a very common methodology as far as the equivalent meter charge. As far as the industrial customer charge, again, that's a very common approach. And we've had that on the books since the mid 1970s. why hasn't anybody implemented it up until recently? Again, I can't
Because we
can't
didn't-
answer that.
We didn't reach that 110% limitation level. That once we're now at 104 and 108%, and we have to be 110 in order to borrow money from the fund, get the lower interest rate. Maybe in the past, we didn't have that requirement.
The 110% has been with these loans as far as the past 3 years for sure. I can't speak as to what the requirement was prior to my employment here.
Yeah, Tim, go ahead.
People that were here 20 years before us overworked what we had 10 years past when they should have been putting money aside. They had to take. They didn't keep it an industry. Not having. Right, we're trying to put money aside so that we don't run into this again. This is kind of where our funding.
It would be more than double the
Yeah.
interest.
I don't like it, but it's something need to.
Anyone else? That was, I don't like it, but it's something we have to, yeah, no one likes it, obviously, yes, no one likes it, but yeah, pretty much. Okay,
This is why government does it and not a private business.
yeah. Let us do a roll call vote. Amanda?
Darla Leclerc,
Aye.
Mark Bittner,
Aye.
Shannon Derby,
Aye.
Bill Leclerc,
Aye.
Doug Brandt,
Aye.
Tim Petrie, Bonnie Shimalunas,
Aye.
Scott Steckmeister,
Aye.
Adam Husky,
No.
motion carries.
Okay, on to G, resolution adopting proposed settlement agreement between Two Rivers Police Local 13 and the City of Two Rivers, new 2-year collective bargaining agreement.
Tonight, we present a tentative agreement reached between the city and the police union. This agreement builds on our prior focus on competitive wages and now emphasizes step adjustments and scheduling flexibility. Key provisions in this temporary agreement include expanded flexibility for required health check scheduling, modest adjustments to vacation day usage, and step changes that align Two Rivers with comparable compartments. Financially, this agreement is projected to increase 2026 patrol wages by approximately 3.08%, primarily affecting 6 officers through step increases of 2 to 3%. These changes bring the department in line with both wage and pay practices across our geographic and our peer comparables. And I think this is fair treatment of officers, and it's fiscally responsible. I'll go ahead and let the police chief continue passing this out, and then he'll have a few more words to say at the podium. Thank you, Ben.
Guess I'll give you time to look at that. The last time I was here talking about it, we were discussing, just enclosed, I believe, with some of the details, some of the questions that arose had to do with basically where our comparables sat. I do have some more finalized numbers, which I just presented to you. Keep in mind, I don't have the ones that are in yellow. I do have pointed out. The first one is that I have not seen that final contract for confirmation, but that's where it should play out to in our geographical neighbors. And then another one being Kaukauna, which ended in 2025. So I just estimated a 3% lift, but that would give you kind of an idea of where we sit with both the geographical neighbors to the top of the page. And then divided from there to the middle of the page would be our actual comparables that we do all our bargaining against. So that tells you where we fit in there. The difference between all of them, I kind of point out where we sit. With this current contract, so that is just with our geographical and our actual comparables. And then just for extra input, you have the couple that are below there that are kind of the outlying areas. I do have notes on the right side of it as well, as far as each one of those, where they're going to be headed, if there's an extension to their contracts, where they're going. For the most part, we were kind of in that one of those leader spots. There's not many that go beyond 26. And then now that Adam's back, to answer one of Adam's questions as well, with regards to the step increases and how that would affect the budget, I looked at that. The budget would increase 3.06% with those step increases.
Well, that are already gonna get up.
This is for everything included, 3.06%.
Okay.
So the 1%, the 2%, the second half, in addition to all the people getting bumped up. So your concern was that some of them were getting like 6% and et cetera. So all that included 3.06%. And I will say that when I have a conversation, I had mentioned to Mark earlier when he contacted me, when I meet with the Personnel and Finance Committee, that however will go up to 3.08%, only because I figure in that a couple people will probably sell back vacation. So when I do my budget, I try to be as accurate and worst case scenario as possible, as you know, and to the penny. So at most 3.08%.
That's all inclusive, right? And then obviously there'll still be some people that might get 4, 5, 6% raises, but in general, it's going to be a cumulative of that
The
3.
overall cumulative raise for patrol for this contract is 3.06%.
2 year. Did anyone answer why it's a 2 year instead of a 3?
That's just where we came to an agreement. We started out with three-year agreements, and I think everybody agreed.
Because we
that
had
2s
3 in the past.
We've done 2s, we've done 3s in the past.
Any other questions for Chief?
I mentioned to
I don't think that really has anything to do with this budget per se. This will be more when I meet with the Personnel and Finance Committee to discuss the effects to my
impact
budget.
your overall estimates, wouldn't it?
What's that?
It impacts your overall estimates.
It has nothing to do with the bargaining agreement.
Oh, but
It will have an effect on my budget, yes, overall. So I'll be having that talk with all of you in the future, but that's a completely different subject. It has nothing to do with this agreement. I will say that if you look at it, we're still in the top. There's only two other comparables that are at the 10-year mark. Everybody else is actually below there. I do feel that we stay very comparable. As I mentioned the last time, the last contract, yes, Adam, it was a 3-year contract. The idea there with that 3-year contract was to give substantial raises over that 3-year period to bring us up to our comparables. And then the focus of this one was to change those step increases so that they're not maxing out at a 20-year step, but rather half of that time. To, again, pull everybody in line with our comparables.
Any other questions? Otherwise, if there are.
Yeah, I got one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
In your spreadsheet here for the Manitowoc Police Department, 2026, 5% end of contract. Is that included in this ratio when you have January of 2026 in here for their steps?
No, this is the 2026. So that's figured in.
That's figured in on
Yes,
theirs.
that's just pointing out that that's the end of their contract. for
Okay.
it.
But that's inclusive of that 5%. So that's getting them.
That's inclusive of their 5%. That's inclusive of this contract that we're talking for us as well. And again, the Manitowoc County one is just an estimate. I know their numbers, so I plug those numbers in. I haven't had a chance to see their actual contract in print to be able to verify my numbers.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, we are looking for a motion. Yes, Adam.
I'll make a motion to waive the reading and adopt the resolution for the proposed settlement agreement between the Two Rivers Police Department Local 13 and the City of Two Rivers for a new 2-year collective bargaining agreement. 3-year would have been nice.
Thank you, Bill. Any council discussion? See none? We'll do a roll call vote. Amanda?
Mark Bittner,
Aye.
Shannon Derby, Bill Leclerc,
Aye.
Doug Brandt, Tim Petrie, Bonnie Shamonis,
Aye.
Scott Steckmeister,
Aye.
Adam Husky, Darla Leclerc,
Aye.
all in favor.
Thank you all for that. On to number 12, City Manager's Report.
Well, Ethnic Fest kicks off on Saturday. If you did not know, I hope to see you there. Starting at 9 a.m. or running until 6 p.m. Come out and join us for a full day celebrating cultural diversity with music, dance, food, and craft. It's free, a free event. Another great way to get outdoors with the family before it gets cold. Ethnic Fest includes a parade of flags, performances from polka bands, and our close friends from the Czech Republic who are in Two Rivers this week. This will be our first Ethnic Fest with my family and I. We're looking forward to checking it out. School bus safety initiative. City staff has been in discussions with the school district on a new public safety initiative that we believe will add a simple but critical layer of protection for our children. Under current Wisconsin statute, school bus drivers are only required to deploy the stop sign arm when picking up or dropping off students if they cross the road. We here at Two Rivers are exploring a local ordinance that would go further than this, requiring all school buses operating here to deploy the stop sign arm every single time students are picked up or dropped off, regardless of whether they cross the street or not. So that is in the works, and the council can expect to see an agenda item to take action on that sometime in October, maybe at the next meeting. Also, the city has embarked on a period of intentional public engagement to collect feedback from a broad cross-section of residents. The goal was to hear from as many people as we can in as many different ways as we can. So tonight in the packet, we wanted to elevate the feedback we've received to the packet so it's publicly available and transparent if anybody wants to see what their neighbors and friends are saying. It's not just 10 or 20 people on Facebook. We have heard from hundreds of people, and this is great. So there's over 100 individual comments in your packet tonight that have been submitted. This is for information, discussion, and transparency's sake only. No action is needed or requested. Feedback results strong community interest, right, in how the beach pavilion could evolve. Respondents highlighted a strong desire to renovate the existing concession stand and bathrooms to bring them up to code, citing historical charm and limited seasonal use as reasons against a complete rebuild. Several people suggested implementing parking fees for non-residents or selling parking stickers to residents to generate revenue at the beach. And other key suggestions for facility improvement included better and more private changing rooms, cleaner facilities, updated electrical and plumbing, and potentially a covered eating area. So the city has been listening, and we continue to listen. And there's no immediate plan to do anything. We're just collecting feedback and wanting to know where the community is going. So it's council's prerogative if you want to talk about this tonight or not, but I think you all have the comments in front of you that we've collected to date. And further, I guess I would just also add city council work session on the 29th, 6 p.m. down at the beach. If you have not seen the building, we'll be taking a tour through it that night. Yes.
Is there more to that meeting then while we're there? Or are we coming back up here afterwards? Or is it just to tour the concession stand?
I think we can stay down there for that evening. Yep.
Gotcha. The snacks over there? I mean, you could charge us, obviously. We'll pay, but. Maybe.
I hope council's had the time to look over the hundreds of comments we've collected. A lot of good, positive feedback in there from all different angles. So good stuff.
I think I just want to make one comment about that.
Are you going to want to record it?
What's that? Oh.
Because not being in here.
Yeah, we'll have to.
I don't think we need it recorded if it's going to be off-site and it is a public meeting. Anybody's always welcome to attend and join us.
Yeah, because we've done other off-site ones and we haven't recorded them.
there will be no final decisions taking a work session at the beach.
Sure. Just one comment I just want to make. There's been, like you said, there's been a lot of comments about the concession stand. A lot of great comments. I think what we talked about in advisory rec board, and I think we also talked at a council meeting, is the city would not be the ones paying the $2+ million for it. It would be funded through a capital campaign project, looking for donors, stuff like that. So the whole bill wouldn't be $2 million. It's kind of like how we did Central Park West across the street. The city didn't pay for all of it. It just paid for a small piece of it. So I just want to make sure that's out there, that I don't think any of us up here would want to have to pay that $2 million for a new concession stand. But if we maybe pay a little bit of it, that'd be great. But otherwise, if we can have a lot more donors to do it, that would be even better yet. So just want to get that out there, because I know there's been a lot of people with the assumption that the city would pay the $2 million right off the bat. And that's not the case.
And timing is everything. It doesn't need to be a now thing. It's let's talk about it. Let's see what their ideas are. Let's toss a few things against the wall, and you know, it's been there for a long time. It's not going anywhere, and timing is everything.
I have a request. This is just one company that we're looking at who's provided a design. I would like to see it expanded to at least 2. So there's a little competition and thinking and different ideas how to get it designed. Maybe it's going to be at a lesser rate. So that's really what I want, is at least 2.
I had people come up to me and
Mike might be able to right away.
I would just say the plans that we had done were about $20,000 for those elevations and the floor plan. So we'd have to pay quite a bit to have more designs of that quality done. I'm waiting for a local construction company to give me an estimate on an interior renovation only. And so that's going to probably cost a couple $1,000s out of our capital budget this year to get that alternate. So if we're talking, it depends on what you're talking about, I guess. I mean, anything's possible. So Hammond Construction is going to get me an estimate, but I am going to pay them for that estimate because they're not guaranteed. It's going to have to go to bid if we do anything. And so, yeah. So.
we're still if they would want to have a project or someone trying to get our.
I can look into it, sure.
I like that idea. It could be more kind of in line with like a call to artists. This would be a call to, architects. Several years ago, we had architect companies come in and look at some of the unused buildings in town, one of which was the old Methodist church, and there was several others. But it was kind of a competition, and I think it worked out really well. And it was a lot fairer across the board. It cost $20,000 to get all this from Parkitecture. I wish that maybe we had thought about it more.
You guys all approved it, so.
No, I'm just saying, I wish we had looked at it that way.
Just, whatever's in the inside isn't real.
Yeah, that's what Hammond's telling me, that the cinder block walls on the interior, that was good news to find out that they're not load bearing, that it's supported by trusses across the entire span. So that was good for being able to reorganize the building. I think if you did a wholesale renovation of the building where you expanded the restrooms to what we'd want them, you make the concession stand more functional, give it more options, you're still probably looking at $500,000. And it's pretty unlikely that there's donors out there looking to support a renovation project. So
First, we need to decide what we're going to do as a team, right?
and I can tell you, we could limp through with it wouldn't even be limping. We could $30,000 to $40,000 to get us up to health code. And I don't know if it would get us up to the rest of the codes, but it'd get us up to health code, and it'd get us a couple things to make us run a little bit more effectively. the next year, or we go for a capital campaign, we try to hit a grand slam, or we go to the middle of the road and try to do a renovation of the building, which could still cost a significant amount of money. But the other thing I would say is we're going to get into personal finance committee meeting, and Kyle's going to facilitate you and help you all understand the grand picture of all the capital projects that we have. And so within the context of that, there's a lot of decision making to be done.
I'd mentioned if ideas out there, if I did on something that they liked as an idea, and then have someone, a different company or something, draw it up, but to that.
Yeah, we just have to talk about how that
Would it
fits
have to be
into,
legal that a student draw?
we just have to talk about how that fits in the capital borrowing going next year, probably.
Anyone else? Mike? Anything else, city managers report?
No, thank you.
That's it? Okay. Then for 13, information only, Kyle mentioned we'll be at the concession stand on Monday, the 29th at 6:00 PM. Then the city council regular meeting, next one will be on Monday, October 6th, 2025. And just checking, still going to closed session? Yeah, okay. Closed session, the city council reserves the right to enter into closed session per Wisconsin statutes 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investment of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Tonight, discuss possible sale of city-owned property and consideration of employment, promotion pay, or performance of a public employee. Looking for motion to go into closed.
Closed session.
Thank you, Bill. Second by Tim. Any council discussion? See none, we'll do a roll call vote. Amanda?
Shannon Derby.
Aye.
Bill Leclerc.
Aye.
Doug Brandt.
Aye.
Tim Petrie. Bonnie Shimalunas. Scott Steckmeister.
Aye.
Adam Mahusky.
Aye.
Darla Leclerc. Mark Bittner. Motion carries.
Awesome. Are